to Touching Tornadoes. This is the daily bipolar mood journal. My name is Conrad, and just like yesterday, I am bipolar 1 with psychotic features. Luckily, I'm feeling pretty good. Even though I have bipolar, if you don't know anything about the disorder, you don't always stay in one side or the other, and that's why we do this mood journal. That's why I'm trying to do this mood journal. Is when I came out of my last manic episode, I was committed to finding something that can help me stay grounded, help me stay aware, help give myself insight into my own feelings and emotions on a daily basis, to try to keep myself from spiraling back into mania. So that's what I'm here for. Right now I'm headed north on I-235 in the heartland to my wife's birthday party at my in-laws' house. So sometimes I do the show when I'm in like a studio setting. Sometimes I do the show from my kitchen table or when I'm walking, and sometimes I do the show when I'm driving. Today has to be one of those times when I have to do it while I'm driving, so I apologize. I don't really know what I'm going to talk about today. It's been a strange day. I did exercise. What I was initially planning on talking about is medications and weight gain, and not that sometimes that's a concern. The side effects of the medication that I'm on include, one of the things they include is weight gain, but I guess my question was more curious, like, is it the pill that you're taking that makes you gain weight, or is it the fact that once you're taking that pill, you no longer want to move? It becomes harder and harder to move around, and it does make you hungrier, gives you this big appetite. So that's what, it's not the pill that makes you gain weight, it's the side effects of the pill that make you gain weight. Like, I was curious if the pill itself actually like slows your metabolism or something. But the reason I was worried about it is because since I've been on my medications, just my motivation in general to exercise has decreased, well, 100-fold from mania, maybe 10-fold from what it was initially. And so I don't know if, I know that they're all different, and even how our bodies respond to medications are all different. It's just concerning when I put so much effort into losing weight at a certain period of time to come out of a mania and go into. So I'm fighting both battles. I'm fighting the classic fall into depression and the manic crash, and then I'm also on new medications that can cause lethargy and weight gain and increased appetite. And I think that when you look that stuff up and for it to tell you that it's common, it doesn't make you feel better. When people are like, well, it's common that happens, it's like, well, great, So I guess I was looking for, it's just easier for me to vent it. I'm trying to vent that out is all I'm trying to do. And I'm hoping that hoping I can get back to the place somewhere in the middle where I can just go on my normal jog but be motivated to jog. And I think what happens is right now I'm still in a place where I get kind of overwhelmed and consumed a little bit easier than maybe other people. And so just when I was in my manic episode and spiraling up and stuff like that, it was just I didn't need to be motivated. I needed to be stopped. You know what I'm saying? And so coming out of that, what happens is I'll start on just a normal jog. I'll be fine. I'll be jogging around the block, and all of a sudden a flood of memories will come back to me because I'll let my mind start to wander. That's what you do when you go on a jog, is let your mind wander. If you're not thinking about the time and you're not thinking about what you got to do next, let your mind wander. And I'm still in the point of my recovery where all of the stuff from mania still feels so real to me. And so when I'm going on my jog now and I'm letting my mind wander, I have these flashbacks, and sometimes I can keep jogging through them, and other times I'm gonna sneeze, maybe. Oh, excuse me, sorry about that. I'm letting my mind get the best of me, basically. So, and I'm sure that that's what it is. But what I've ended up doing recently to kind of combat that is I'll just continue walking and thinking about it and trying to forgive myself for the things that I did while manic or said while manic that were out of my control, but also take ownership of them simultaneously, if that's possible. Ownership in the sense of it's something that I know I'm in a manic state. When I go into psychosis, I know that these weird things come out of my mouth, whether they be religious things or delusions or feeling like I'm in a movie or the star of the movie, or one of the weirder ones was like was the Truman Show, and I mean that's when we always do, but it was like I was this what is the movie, Universal Soldier? That's a throwback, but it's like I was trained as some sort of galactic soldier that was put here, and my mission was finally over, and I was like waiting each day for the celebration of my return. And that was the delusion I was under. Like I'd meet up with, I didn't have very many people that I was trying to get in touch with, but the few that I was trying to get in touch with, I was telling them like, hey, just a lot of weird stuff about, I thought that when I was meeting them, there would be a surprise party for me for the things that I had accomplished as this galactic, universal, religious, it was all of them, you know, soldiers. So I said some pretty weird and odd crap, and it's embarrassing, and it causes these flashbacks of like embarrassment, because it's just things I would never do. And so it's like it never ends, because you're stuck with those, And even if you forgive yourself for them and other people have forgiven you, the ones that you did it around, your manic stuff around, they forgave you, the ones that do forgive you, if you're lucky. And not everybody's forgiven me, and not everybody's wanted to understand what I've been through, but it's been very hard of insanity. And I know that that's a big part of what drags us down in depression too, is just the guilt of that. So today I did my best to combat the guilt. I jogged for maybe 30 minutes or so and did a little bit of weightlifting, which is something that I haven't done in a while. But it's also been one of the days where it just seems like what I was planning on getting done didn't happen, and that's okay. And I'm trying not to let that bother me. Just go with the flow, because it's gonna sound strange, but when you go through a week and you spend most of your week kind of isolated and alone, when you get to the weekend, that's kind of the time when I could do some stuff on my job, but other people want to talk, and it's like, if there's somebody that wants to talk to you after what you drop what you're doing and you talk to them. And so I had a nice conversation with my mom, and then my wife called, and I was like, what? I'm never going to get any of this done. But I sat down and I talked to both of them about, just my goal. Well, with my wife, I just tried to talk her off of, don't put so much on her shoulders. She tries to get everything done in the weekend that she doesn't get done throughout the week, and I just told her I'll be better. I'm hoping to be better. I'm in that stage sometimes, which maybe some of you guys can understand, where the laundry, the dishes, that kind of domestic stuff builds up and it becomes overwhelming. It feels overwhelming, but I just got to help her get more of that done. And I should mention that too, that but with my mom, it was a chat about nothing for a long time, but then all of a sudden, telling her that this is what I want to do. I do this daily mood journal, but it's only I do it so and I know that it can help other people who are going through this same kind of struggle feel less alone. And I think that what I'd like to do is put together, a speech or something for businesses or schools or law enforcement. I mean, there's so many people that really need to be educated on what bipolar disorder is and how it manifests and what you can look for and how to or of depression. And really it's just education. The more you know about the disorder, the less scary it becomes. And I'm hoping that just by doing this journal, I'm putting myself out there within the mental health arena, that I have a voice too. I went through this, here's my experience, and I hope, and just like so many others that I've listened to, I hope that my experience helps them.